Hey everyone, I hope you all are doing well. This is Mr. Shook, your journalism teacher, and today we are going to ultimately be continuing our discussions on broadcast journalism writing and how to write for television and radio and the world of online and on air journalism. But before we get back to that, I want to make a couple of announcements for you guys. First and foremost, I want to go ahead and tell you guys a little bit early, just a reminder that you do have a blog post coming up that is due Sunday night. I will open up the post for it, the discussion post for it tomorrow, so that we're still on schedule. But I just wanted to go ahead and remind you guys about that, so that if you wanted to spend some extra time writing or researching or doing whatever you need to get ready, so that if nothing else, you just copy and paste your blog post onto the discussion board. Then on Friday, as soon as it opens, then you're good to go. Don't forget to comment on a peers, on a classmate's post as well, so that you can get the full 10 points for the week. And then we will be able to be good to go on that. Your alternative writing prompt, right? So again, you can talk about your blog topic that you have been following every week, and that is perfectly fine. If there is some news related to your topic that you want to talk about, I encourage you to keep writing. But if you want a change of pace or you're not quite sure what you want to talk about, then here is your alternative writing prompt. And I chose it because we are expecting some rain this weekend. I don't know if you guys are aware, but we have another hurricane coming through the Gulf that is expected to make its way mostly up through Louisiana this weekend. But we are also going to be experiencing plenty of rain. So, with that, your writing prompt is, on rainy days, our plans often change, and we have to find other things to do. Think about what you do for fun on rainy days. Then, write your idea of how to have fun on a rainy day. So, that is your alternative writing prompt. I will post that when I post the blog discussion board tomorrow. But again, I just wanted to let you guys know ahead of time that that is your prompt, and as just a general reminder to get your to keep working on your blog posts and get those ready to turn in by Sunday night. Now, the other big thing, this is another big piece of news that I want to get on record and let you guys know about as well. Next week, I will be posting another assignment that you will have the week to complete. It is optional, but a few weeks ago, you guys took an AP style quiz, and some of you might not have done as well on it as you would have liked. So, on Monday, I will be posting an AP style makeup quiz. What will happen is you will have the opportunity to take that quiz, and in doing so, I will average that quiz grade with your original quiz grade, and it will replace your current AP style grade. Now, it's optional. If you are satisfied with your grade, you do not have to take it. If you do choose to take it and you wind up doing worse, I will just keep your original quiz grade, right? If you scored a 28 out of 45 on the original quiz, or a 28 out of 40 on the original quiz, and this time around you made a 26, well, averaging it would not help you in that. So instead, we will just keep the 28 and we can move on from there. So I just wanted to let you guys know that ahead of time. I just wanted to give you guys a heads up on that on Monday, and it will be due Friday, you have an optional AP style makeup quiz. Sound good? Good. And then that way too, with it being on Friday, that way I can get it in before the 9 weeks ends, so that your grade is not only updated, but it is updated before report cards are due. Now, getting back to broadcast news writing. We talked yesterday about how broadcast news writing for the teleprompter, is a little bit different than writing AP style for journalism. So, for this lesson, we are going to pick back up. Again, our numbers are slightly different. Instead of writing out words 1 through 9 and then numerals 10 and up, we write out the words 1 through 11. And so we write ELEVEN instead of 1, 1. We also don't use AM or PM for any time. We say 8 in the morning, 8 tomorrow night, things of that nature, things like that, instead of 8 a.m. tomorrow or 7:30 p.m., right? And our goal is that we want to be simple in our writing. We want to give as simple a message as we can. We want to be very clear. So in doing that, let's continue with today. Today, we're going to start by making sure that we give credit where credit is due. We want to attribute the quote before the clip. Now, in your online English classes, you guys have been learning about how to tie quotations, right? T-I-E. You want to tie quotations, and those stand for tagging, introducing, and embedding. Well, that has to do with quotes, but the same applies for clips, for pre-recorded news videos that we roll. We always want to introduce. We don't want to tag and we don't want to try to embed, but we always want to introduce our quote. We always want to introduce our clips. So for example, Coach Neil Brown, the former Troy University football coach, Coach Brown hopes this season will go better than the last. And then cue clip. That means our news anchor would read, Coach Brown hopes this season will go better than last, and then we will roll the clip, we will roll the video of him talking about how he hopes the season will go. Now, when attributing a quote, when giving credit to these names, to these people, we always want to put the title first. So, if we are giving a quote where the principal of our school, Mr. Aaron Brown, is speaking, we would say Principal Brown, not Mr. Brown or Brown, the principal. Because let's look at something. If we have a sentence that says, Mr. Aaron Brown the third, the principal of the school, had this to say. If we compare that with this, Principal Brown said. Which one of these is simpler? Is it the first one, Mr. Aaron Brown III, the principal of the school, had this to say? Or is it this one, Principal Brown said? Well, of course, it's going to be Principal Brown said. We have fewer words. And the idea is when you add too many words, when you start adding too many words, you really start to run the risk of confusing people because you're throwing in more words, quite frankly, than necessary. Now, after we introduce a person with their full name, we just go to using their last name. We don't worry about titles. We don't worry about using first names. This we pull directly from AP. We pull directly from print journalism. So instead of saying Sue Brown is excited about the class, so we do not say Sue Brown is excited about the class. Sue Brown or Sue has had previous experience in journalism. No. We say Sue Brown is excited for the class. Brown has had previous experience in journalism. Now, when it comes to words and sentences, we want to be clear. This goes back to this example. Which one of these is clearer? Which one of these is simpler? This one. We also, this is a benefit, we want to use contractions. Instead of saying do not, just go ahead and say don't. We don't want to be superfluous. And superfluous in and of itself is a superfluous word. If I say do not be superfluous, you know what I'm really saying? I'm saying don't be extra. We also want to be simple, but we don't want to be simplistic. So the Board of Education, what is the Board of Education? What's it in charge of? It's in charge of the school. So everybody is familiar with the phrase school board. It makes sense, it's easy, and it shaves off a word that we don't need. Also, have any of you ever heard of the term laceration? He had a laceration. Well, you might, but you also might not have. And a laceration is merely just a cut. If you have a laceration on your knee, then you have a cut on your knee. And instead of saying make changes in, we can condense that into one word. Instead of saying that we made changes in this class in the way that we blog, well, no, we just adjusted how we blogged. And then finally, we want to use active voice, which is a style of writing that applies also to your English classes. Active voice is the way in which the verb works in a sentence. So, for instance, and in fact, today's lesson is going to be a little bit shorter. We're not going to spend too much time on active voice and passive voice because that's its own mini lesson, and we can talk about that on Monday. Again, Friday is going to be your work day. But what I want you to know is that active voice means that the subject does the verb. For instance, Sarah plays video games. What's our verb? Sarah. And who is doing the playing? Sarah is. I might have said that Sarah was the verb. Plays is the verb. Our verb is plays, and who is doing the playing? Sarah. That's active voice. In passive, the subject does not do the verb. What I mean by that is this. The video games were played by Sarah. What is our verb? Were played, right? That's our verb phrase. They work together. But are the video games doing the playing? No. Sarah is still doing the playing, but this is our subject. So again, we'll talk about active voice and passive voice on Monday as well, but we want to stick with the active voice. We want to say that Sarah played the video games. Again, it cuts down on our words and it makes the sentence clear. But this is our lesson for today. This is our continuation of broadcast journalism writing. We have a little bit more to talk about that we'll talk about on Monday, and then we will move on to our next topic. But with that being said, I hope you all have a wonderful day.